Hey guys, it's been a while. I finally freed up from uni exams this year, so back to making YouTube videos, so that feels pretty good. Today we've got the Ikki Aurora68 from Ikki Studios that released a while ago, but it's still pretty exciting because it's an entry-level custom coming in at about 129 USD. I also saw that round 2 of the Ikki group buy just closed, so I'm a bit late to the party, but just so you guys know, the only differences between round 1 and round 2 are more options for colors, a choice of an aluminium top case instead of polycarbonate, and most importantly a thinner flexia PCB that provides apparently a quite bouncy typing experience. Well, let's get into it. So straight into the box, you get a surprisingly well-made keyboard case. The material feels sort of like a faux suede or like a fake suede, and the zip is also great, and I think overall it's a great touch to the kit. In the accessories bag, we've got a metal plate with the Ikki logo cut out. This will be used later for the LED shine through feature. A metal coin, sort of like your record of ownership, that's pretty cool. A blank metal plate in case you don't want any LED shine through. An Ikki Waves badge, rubber bumpers that match the keyboard case, and a choice between silicone and Poron gaskets. The other bag has all the screws that you'll need for the build. Now this kit comes standard with a matching aluminium plate, as well as a hot swap PCB. I also purchased an FR4 plate for hopefully a slightly deeper sound. Now for most of these beginner sets, you're usually also given, a regular USB-A to USB-C cable. But I do have to say, the mint colored one that they've included here is really just top notch. It's, obviously color matching, but also the quality is really decent and it's coiled really well. Honestly, something I think that all keyboard kits should come with. Well, let's get onto the board itself. So what got me really excited about the Ikki is really the depth of customization at this price point. And as I take it out of the packaging, we can see that it comes with a ton of silicone actually, 3 layers to be exact, and you can really choose how many layers of silicone you want. And personally, I think that 2 layers is really enough for most people's usage, just so you don't dampen the sound completely. Now the next interesting feature is the customizability of the mounting style. So the Ikki is gasket mounted, so that means held in place between the top and the bottom case with use of, silicone or foam pads. So what's special is that in this keyboard, there's gasket chips that are located in the bottom case, a total of about 10. And these can be removed or kept in as desired. So for example, you could go for, no side gaskets or no middle gaskets for more flex, or even no bottom gaskets at all for a softer spacebar. Now, I found that having less gaskets generally means a more flexible typing experience and also a bit of a deeper sound. You'll get to hear some of these variations in the sound test. Now, for these gaskets, they don't come pre-installed, so you do have the choice of putting on either silicone or Poron. I personally went with Poron because it's more compressible, it's softer, and I don't think the differences in performance are that huge here. So just install them on both the chips and the top case, then you're good to go. Now the build itself was pretty easy, but the result was a little bit surprising. So let me run you through why. So on my first build, I lubed up some Duroc V2s with Krytox 205G0, and this is before I got my stabies. Now these fit perfectly fine on the PCB, however something to note for round 2 is that you might only be able to use the Ikki stabilizers that they provide because the PCB is a little bit thinner. Now I tried out the keyboard with lavender switches mounted onto the aluminium plate, and the results were a bit surprising. So my first reaction was that the board turned out to be very muted and quiet, which doesn't make it bad in any way, but it's just unexpected for me. And looking back onto other people's reviews, it's something that they've also reciprocated. Now, it's not something that you can actually tell from the sound test as well, unless you've got 2 boards compared side to side. So here I compare the Ikki with the Jelly Epoch. Now, yes, the Jelly does have a loud and popping sound signature. It's more obvious in person, so hopefully you can hear the difference here. Now, the flex of the round 1 is also a little bit underwhelming for a board that's gasket mounted. Flex is meant to be one of the key features of a gasket mount. Now, as you can see here, there's very little flex with all the gasket chips installed. Now this has been significantly improved for round 2, as you can see from Teha Type's stream with the new PCB, and that's a great change, I reckon. So anything else to know before you buy or join perhaps a future round? Well, yes. While the build quality is overall pretty solid and it doesn't flex and there's no resonance, I noticed that when screwing in the top housing that the overall keyboard would frequently end up warped. Now, I noticed this also in Tay Keyboard's round 1 review, which had a similar issue, and so when I built mine I was careful to insert the screws in the same order as the guide and not over tighten it. However, I still did find that the case warping to be present, and you can see this when I put this on a flat table, it does rock back and forth. I definitely see how this would annoy some users, but I did put in some effort to go ahead and fix it, and I did this by bending the top case a little bit inwards or towards me, so countering the warping essentially as I screwed it in, and that did fix it. And to end on a good note, in my final build, I transferred the lavenders into the FR4 plate, and then added some cheap green botanical themed keycaps. I'm super keen for EPBT aesthetic to come in, and those will be the keycaps for this board. And then finishing touches. The addition of the badge and glowing slot are really my favorite thing about the Ikki, because it provides a whole new realm of customization. So at the time when group buy purchases do open, you can purchase different badge designs, as well as cut out any shape on a piece of cardboard that you prefer for the underglow to shine through. And here is the final product, the Ikki Aurora68 with lavender switches. Let's have a listen. Alright, so there we go. I hope you guys enjoyed this keyboard, learned a bit more about the positives and the negatives of the Ikki Aurora68, and hopefully Wucho Studios opens up a group buy again, which I think they will, because this is quite a popular entry-level keyboard. Now, if you guys have the Ikki or like the video, be sure to leave a comment, subscribe. There's going to be a lot more content coming through now that I've freed up a little. And I hope you guys have a lovely day. Catch y'all in the next video.